Hi viewers, so welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the important chapter of class 8, so which is nothing but comparing quantities using proportions, right? So already in 7th class you might have learned this chapter, so it is the continuation of that particular topic, right? So it is present in APTS and NCERT class 8th, and it is also useful for all competitive exams, right? Now let us see the contents that are present in this particular chapter, right? So the contents are, so first in the exercise 1 we are going to have ratio, compound ratio, percentage and proportions, whereas in exercise 2 we are going to have discounts, profit and loss problems, sales tax and VAT, whereas in exercise 3 we are completely dealing with simple interest and compound interest, right? So these are the things that we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, so before going into the chapter, so if you are new to this channel, so please subscribe the channel and share with your friends. So don't forget to press the bell icon and select the all option so that you can get the updates of my uploaded videos, right? So let us begin the chapter. Okay, so first of all, so ratio. So what is meant by a ratio? So ratio is nothing but an ordered comparison of two quantities, so which are in the same units, right? So if you are having two quantities, so those two quantities are compared in an ordered way. So order is important, and at the same time they should have same units, right? So if I say, so 5 meters and 1 meter, then what is the ratio between them is nothing but we can say it as 5:1, right? Whereas if I say 5 meters and 1 kilometer, so can you compare these two quantities? So we cannot compare directly the quantities which are in different units, right? So for that, so what we can do is either you write both the things in meters. So 1 kilometer can be written as 1000 meters, so which gives me 5:1000. So 5:1000 is nothing but 1:200, right? So likewise we can write down the ratio. So in general, so a ratio is generally represented by A:B. So we need to read it as A:B. So here A is the first term, B is the second term, and to compare them, so we are going to use this symbol is to. So this particular symbol is representing as is to. So we can read it as A is to B. So we need to read in such a way, right? Next, here A is nothing but we call it as antecedent. We call this A as antecedent or first term. The same way B can be called as consequent. So we call this B as consequent, right? So A is to B. So A is to B is not equal to B is to A. So A is to B is not equal to B is to A. So that's why we need to see the order. So here the order is very important. So if you change the order, then automatically the ratio goes wrong, right? So here the first term is called as antecedent and the second term is nothing but we call it as consequent, right? And the ratio is always written for two quantities which are in following same units, right? So this is nothing but the thing. So here if you observe, so 5:1 is different from 1:5, right? So you can clearly understand this ratio, right? So ratio is nothing but an ordered comparison of two quantities, so which are of the same units. Or what we can simply say is, so by how much the second quantity we can compare with the first quantity, right? So there are number of definitions for the ratio, right? Next, moving on to compound ratio. See here So compound ratio is nothing but, so when you are having two or more ratios, so when you are having two or more ratios, and if you want to express that those ratios as a single ratio, so if you are having two or more ratios and if you want to express them as a single ratio, then we can use the concept of compound ratio. So compound ratio means, for suppose if you are having A is to B is one ratio and C is to D is another ratio, right? So if you are having two different ratios and if you want to write those two ratios as a single ratio, then what we are going to do is, so we need to take the product of antecedents. So we need to consider the product of antecedents, and you need to take the product of consequents, and you need to take their ratio. Then that ratio is nothing but we call it as compound ratio of those two ratios, right? So for suppose A is to B is there, C is to D is there, right? Here A is antecedent, here for this ratio C is antecedent, so we are going to multiply those two. So A into C is to, so here B is consequent, here D is consequent, so we can write it as B into D. For suppose not only two ratios, so we can take more than two also. So if A is to B is one ratio, C is to D is another ratio, E is to F is one more ratio, then their compound ratio I can write it as A into C into E is to B into D into F. So this is nothing but the compound ratio. So this is compound ratio of those three ratios, right? So likewise, so we can find out compound ratio of any number of ratios. Here the only thing that you need to remember is, so we need to multiply antecedents separately and consequents separately and write in their particular position, right? So this is about a compound ratio. And next moving on to percentage. So percentage, so percentage means percent. So here you need to understand this word. So percent means we are going to compare a number to 100. So here percent, so here these are two words, per cent. So per cent means per every 100. So this percent means per every 100. That means if you take any number, then we are going to compare. So here also we are going to take ratio only. So here the ratio, in the ratio always the denominator is 100. So always the denominator is 100, right? So if you take 100%, so 100% is denoted by 100 by 100, which gives me 1. So if you want to express in percentage, then it is 100%. If you want to express as a number, then it is 1. So for suppose if you want to say 75%, so 75% is nothing but given by 75 by 100. So here this percent symbol becomes by 100 here. That you need to understand, right? 75% means 75 by 100. So in our number form, so how can I write it as 3 by 4, or generally in decimal form, how can I write it as 0.75? Okay, so these are nothing but the representations. Likewise 25% if you want, so 25% means how can I write this as 25 by 100? So 25 by 100 means 1 by 4. Likewise 50%, so 50% I can write it as 50 by 100, so which I can write as 1 by 2, right? So likewise we can convert fraction into, so percentage into fractions, as well as fractions can be written as percentages, right? So whenever you are having percentage symbol, so if you want to remove that percentage symbol, we need to divide with 100. So this is nothing but the simple thing that we need to remember, right? Next, so this is all about percentages. So there are some more percentages, so which we are going to see in our problems, right? Next we are going to talk about proportion. So proportion means nothing but, so proportion is different from compound ratio. So there is a lot difference between these two things. So proportion means if you are having two ratios, A is to B and C is to D. Now proportion means nothing but this ratio and this ratio both should be equal. So if these two ratios are equal, then we say they are in proportion, right? So when two ratios are equal, then we say they are in proportion, right? So the symbol that we use for proportion is, so ratio we are using only two dots vertically. In proportion we are going to use double, right? So we will be using four dots and we will be reading it as is as. So what we will read it as is as, right? So now let us see, if A is to B and C is to D both are equal, then what we can say, A is to B is equal to C is to D, right? Symbolically we can write like this, or you can simply write like this, A is to B is as C is to D. So we need to read it as A is to B is proportionate to C is to D. A is to B is proportionate to C is to D. Or if you feel it difficult to read, then how can we read it as A is to B is as C is to D, right? So if it is difficult to read, then we can read it as A is to B is as C is to D, right? Compound ratio is different from proportion, so you need to be clear about this, right? So for compound ratio, what we are doing, we are multiplying all the antecedents and we are taking the product of all the consequents and we are going to write it as simple ratio. Whereas here also the same thing is happening, but in a different way, so that you will understand here. So first we are going to see the representation. A is to B is as C is to D. So here the thing is, both the ratios should be equal, whereas for compound ratio, so there is no such case, right? Next, let us see in this A, B, C, D. So we have written A is to B is as C is to D. No, in that these A, B, C, D are nothing but we call them as first quantity, second quantity, third quantity and fourth quantity, or you can simply call them as terms also, right? In this, so again I am writing here, so A is to B is proportionate to C is to D. No, so that means, so what we can say here, this particular A and this particular D, so A and D are nothing but far from the center. No, so since they are far from the center, so we call them as extreme terms or extremes. We call these A and D as extremes. We call these A and D as extremes. Next, these B and C are nearer to this center. No, so this proportionate symbol, this B and C are nearer, right? So that's why, so we call these B and C as means. We call these B and C as means, right? So this is as symbol is nothing but, so A is to B, that means we can write it as A by B. We can write it as A by B. So is as can be written as equal to C by D. Now since we are having two fractions, so we can directly do cross multiplication, right? So from that what we are going to get, so if we do cross multiplication, so A into D is equal to B into C. A into D is equal to B into C. So if you want to say that A is to B, C is to D are to be in proportion, then we need to satisfy this condition. A into D should be equal to B into C. So if this condition is satisfied, then we can say A, B, C, D are in proportion. Are in proportion. So if he says that they are all in proportion, then this condition will be satisfied, right? Now how can we read this as, right? So in the compound ratio, so here in the compound ratio what we said, so these all are nothing but product of, so these all are product of antecedents, right? So already here they are, no, so those are all nothing but product of antecedents and a product of consequence, right? So whereas in proportion, so in proportion if you observe, so here A into D, that means what we can say here is, so these are product of extremes, product of extremes, whereas B and C are nothing but product of means. So here from this what we can say, product of extremes is equal to product of means. Product of extremes is equal to product of means. So this is nothing but the topic, so which we need to remember, right? So first of all, about the ratios. So ratio is nothing but we will be representing it as A is to B. So this A is to B is also can be written as A upon B or A by B. So if you want to represent in the form of a ratio, then you can use the ratio form, or if you want to represent like a fraction, then you can represent this as A by B. So we need to remember A is antecedent and B is consequent, right? Next, so we have discussed about compound ratio. Compound ratio means, so whenever you are having two or more ratios, if you want to represent those ratios as a single ratio, then we are going to do, we are going to do product of antecedents and product of consequents, and we will be writing them as a single ratio. So here we need to remember this product of antecedents, product of consequents, right? Next, about percentages. So percentage means nothing but comparing a number with 100. So percentage means, so if you are having 75%, so 75% means 75 by 100, 25% means 25 by 100. So likewise, so whenever you are having some percentage given, then we need to, so instead of percent symbol, we can directly divide with 100, right? Next, we have discussed about proportion. So these all are the things that we need to keep in mind while solving the problems related to exercise 1 of this particular chapter, right? Now let us move on to exercise 5.1. So in exercise 5.1, so question number 1 is given. So in question number 1, bit number 1, so what he has given, Smita works in an office for 6 hours. So she is working in the office for 6 hours. Kajal works for 8 hours in her office. So find the ratio of their working hours. So what is he asking? The ratio of their working hours. So ratio of their working hours means nothing but we need to take the ratio. So what is the order? So Smita is to Kajal. So working hours of Smita is to Kajal. So here if you observe, Smita is working for 6 hours, Kajal is working for 8 hours. So both are same units, no? So directly we can write, right? 6 is to 8. Is there further any cancellation possible here? So in 2 table we can cancel, no? This goes 3 times, this goes 4 times. So what is the answer? So 3 is to 4. 3 is to 4. So answer is 3 is to 4. Next, second question. So one pot contains 8 liters of milk. 8 liters of milk. Other contains 750 milliliters. So here one is in liters, other one is in milliliters. So can you compare? So we can't compare, right? So then what we have to do, either you convert liters into milliliters or milliliters into liters. So any of the possibility is okay, right? Now in this what we are going to do is, so we are going to write first pot is to second pot. So first pot is to second pot is equal to, here first part means 8 liters, no? So converting liters into milliliters is easy, right? So because 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. So 1000 milliliters. So what I can do here? So 8 into 1000 is to 750. So now both are in milliliters. So here write down. So what is the reason? So 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. So we have used this particular concept here. So this I can write it as 8000 is to 750. So 1 0 we can cancel easily. Next in 5 table. So in 5 table. So in 5 table how many times it will go? So 5 ones are 5. Next 3 is left 30. So 30 means 6 times. So 160 times. Next this in 5 table. So 5 ones are 5. So 5, so 2 will be left 25. So 5 5s are 25. So again in 5 table we can cancel it, no? So again in 5 table. So 5 3s are 15. So 32 times, and this 5 table 3 times. So what is the answer? 32 is to 3. So there is no further more cancellation. So the answer is 32 is to 3. Next, moving on to the third question. So what we can say, speed of cycle is 15 kilometers per hour, speed of scooter is 30 kilometers per hour. So both are in same units, right? So from this what I can say, so speed of cycle is to speed of scooter, right? So speed of cycle is to speed of scooter is equal to 15 is to 30. So 15 is to 30. So in 15 table it goes one time, it goes two times. So the ratio is 1 is to 2, right? So these are nothing but the simple things so which we have related to ratios. Next, moving on to question number 2. If the compound ratio of 5 is to 8 and 3 is to 5. So these are nothing but two ratios, two simple ratios, and this is nothing but their compound ratio. So this is compound ratio. Then what we need to find? We need to find out the value of x, right? So already we know. So compound ratio means what? So compound ratio means nothing but product of antecedents is to product of consequents, right? So product of antecedents is to product of consequents. So compound ratio of 5 is to 8 and 3 is to 7. So compound ratio of 5 is to 8 and 3 is to 7 is, so what I can do here, I can multiply antecedents and consequents separately, right? So I am going to multiply antecedents separately and consequents separately, which I can write it as 5 into 3 is to 8 into 7. Now 5 3s are 15 is to 8 7s are 56. Now here what is the given compound ratio? So compound ratio is in the form of 45 is to x, no? See here given it as 45 is to x, but what is the antecedent we got here? 15. So how can you make this 15 as 45? So what I need to do? I need to multiply 3 with both the terms. So 15 into 3 is to 56 into 3. Now what I am going to do? 15 3s are 45 is to, so 56 3s. So 6 3s are 18, 3 5s 15, 1 16. Now compare this, and this particular compound ratio is given as 45 is to x, no? So on comparing the ratio terms, so antecedent is 45, here antecedent is 45, automatically consequents are also equal. So from this what I can say, x is equal to 168. So here you need to understand one thing. So here compound ratio we got it as 15 is to 56, but what he has given 45 is to x. So we need to change this 15 as 45. So how can we change? We can multiply the same constant to both the terms of the given ratio. Then we are going to get the value of x, right? Let's move on to question number 3. So you can easily do it, right? So what is given? The compound ratio of 7 is to 5 and 8 is to x is 84 is to 60. So how to find the compound ratio? So what will you do? So compound ratio of 7 is to 5 and 8 is to x is how much? So directly you will be multiplying antecedents and you will be multiplying consequents. So which gives me 7 into 8 is to 5 into x. So which gives me 7 8s 56 is to 5x. But in the question what he has given, 84 is to 60, no? 84 is to 60. That means this particular 56 is to 5x is equal to this particular 84 is to 60. That means, so this 56 is to 5x is equal to 84 is to 60. 56 is to 5x is equal to 84 is to 60, right? So this is what we got, this is what he has given, right? Now if you observe, this is a ratio and this is also a ratio, both are equal. That means which concept we are going to use? Proportionality concept. Which concept we are going to use? Proportionality concept. So what is proportionality concept? So product of means is equal to product of extremes, right? So when to use proportionality, when to use compound ratio, that we need to understand. So product of means is equal to product of extremes, right? So from this, so product of means nothing but which are nearer to the equality symbol. So 5x into 84 is equal to product of extremes, so 56 into 60. Now I need x value, no? So I need to transpose this 84, then this becomes 56 into 60 divided by 84. So in 12 table, so 12 5 60, 12 7s are 84. Next, this 7 in 56, it goes 8 times. This 5 and 5 gets cancelled. So from this what I got here, so x is equal to 8. So the value of x is 8, right? So if you want, you can check it out. So how to check? So substitute there. So in the place of 8, so what we are going to get? So 7 5s are, so what we are going to get? So 7 8s 56, so 56, so 5 8s are 40, right? Now 56 need to become 84. So based on that we are going to multiply with some constant number, then we are going to get the value of x as 8, right? So understood the calculation here. Okay, next moving on to one more question. So question number 4. So here he has given compound ratio of 3:4 and inverse ratio of 4:5. So here you need to understand, so compound ratio of 3:4 and inverse ratio of 4:5. So compound ratio of 3:4 and inverse ratio means we need to reciprocate it. So if he has given 4:5, then we need to consider 5:4. So remember this, inverse ratio means we need to take the reciprocal of that. That means antecedent should be taken as consequent and consequent should be taken as antecedent. So compound ratio of this is nothing but given by, so 3 into 5, because antecedent. So 3 into 5 is to 4 into 4. So 4 into 4. So which gives me 15 is to 16. But here if you observe, what is the given compound ratio? 45 is to x, no? So 15 is to 16. So this 15 I need to make it 45. So for that what I should do? I need to multiply both the terms with 3. Then 15 3s are 45 is to 16 3s are 48. But in the question what he has given, it is given as 45 is to x. So on comparison, x is equal to 48. So from this what I can say, x is equal to 48, right? Next moving on to one more question. See here, in a primary school there are 3 teachers to 62 students. Here 3 teachers to 60 students. If there are 400 students enrolled in the school, how many teachers should be there in the school in the same ratio? That means, so what is asking? So there are teachers as well as students. There are teachers as well as students. So for 60 students, there are 3 teachers. For 400 students, how many teachers should be? So what he is saying, finally in the same ratio, no? So same ratio means, so let this be some x. So same ratio means, so what I can do here, I can take it as, same ratio means I can take it as 3 is to x is equal to 60 is to 400. Either you can take this way or you can directly consider it as, for 3 if you are having 60, then for x 400. So if you want, you can take both the teachers on same side and correspondingly students on the other side, or teacher student. So anyway you can take it, right? Now, so since this is ratio and this is also a ratio and both ratios are equal, So when such a case is there, what we call them? Proportion. So when you are having proportion, then what will you do? So you are going to multiply means and you are going to take extremes, right? So product of extremes, so 3 into 400 is equal to x into 60. Since I need x value, so transpose this 60, then I can write it as 3 into 400 divided by 60, so which is equal to x. So here 0 0 gets cancelled, so 3 in 6 2 times, again 2 in 40 20 times. So from this x is equal to 20. So what is 20 here? So 20 is nothing but, so what is x here? So x is nothing but number of teachers now. So x is equal to 20 teachers, right? The same thing we can do in other way also. So here also the same thing. So product of extremes, so product of means. So 3 into 400 is equal to 60 into x. So here also we are going to get the same thing. So there won't be any change. So 0 0 gets cancelled. So in 3 table 6 2 times, sorry 3 times, right? Sorry 2 times. So 2. So 2 in 40 20 times. So clearly here also we are going to get the same thing, right? So here x is equal to 20 teachers, right? So in both the approaches we are going to get the same thing, right? Next, moving on to one more question. So what he has given, there is a triangle ABC. Write all possible ratios taking measures of sides pairwise. So here a triangle ABC is given, which is a right angle triangle, and is asking you to write the ratios of pairwise. So totally how many sides are there? So how many sides are there? AB, BC and CA. Then how many ratios are possible by taking two sides as a pair? So how many ratios are possible? So there are 6 possibilities. Either you can take first side by second side, or you can take reciprocal of that, no, BC by AB. The same way you can take first side by third side, or you can take the reciprocal of that. Next, second side by third side, so BC by CA, or you can take the reverse of that. So is there any case that is missed? So all the possibilities we have considered now. So there are 3 sides AB, BC and CA. So there are 6 cases that are possible, right? Now let me tell you. So AB by BC how much? So AB by BC is nothing but 8 by 6. 8 by 6 is nothing but 4 by 3 on simplified. Next, AB by BC is reciprocal now, this is, so directly I can write it as 3 by 4. Next, AB by CA. So AB is 8, CA is 10. So 8 by 10 means 4 by 5. So clearly this is nothing but it's reverse. So 5 by 4. Next, BC by CA. So BC is 6, CA is 10. So this I can write it as 3 by 5. Similarly, so I can write it as 5 by 3. So totally how many ratios are possible? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Totally 6 ratios are possible here. Next, moving on to one more question. So here how many students are there? So 9 out of 24 students scored below 75% marks in a test. So 9 out of 24. So 9 out of 24 scored below. So they have scored below 75% marks. Next, find the ratio of students scored below 75% to the students scored 75% and above marks, right? So if you clearly see, now 9 out of 24 got below 75%, no? That means, so total students are how many? So from this what we can say? So total students is equal to 24, right? So 9 got below 75% marks, no? Then how many got above 75% and 75%? So how many got above 75%? So which can be written as 24 minus 9. So 24 minus 9 is nothing but, so 15 students. So from this what we can say, 15 students got 75% and above marks. So from this, so finally what did he ask? Find the ratio of the student scored below 75 to the student scored 75 and above. So from this what I can say? So ratio of student below 75. So below 75 how many? So from this what I can say? Required ratio. So required ratio is equal to, so below 75 how many? 9 members, by above 75 how many? 15 members. So the answer is 9 by 15. So this in the form of ratio I can write it as 9:15. Is there any cancellation that is possible? So I can write it as 3:5. Right? So the answer is 3:5. Okay, now moving on to one more question. See here, find the ratio of number of vowels in the word Mississippi to the number of consonants. So we need to take this word MISSISSIPPI. So this is nothing but the word that is given. Now what is asking is, so you need to find the number of vowels to the number of consonants. Right? Now we are going to write vowels and consonants. So first write down the vowels. So M is a consonant, so write on the consonant side. I is vowel, so I. S consonant, S is consonant. Next I is vowel, S is consonant, S is consonant. I is vowel, P is consonant, P is consonant, I is vowel. Now count down the number of vowels. So total number of vowels are 4. Next number of consonants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 consonants. So from this what I need to write? So vowels is to consonants, right? So vowels is to consonants. So vowels is to consonants is nothing but given by 4:7. 4:7. So if you count number of terms, so 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus 3, 11. Now for suppose if we ask about consonants to vowels, then you will be writing the reverse order, 7:4. Right? Next, moving on to one more question of exercise 1. So Rajendra and Rahana owns a business. So there are two people, so who is having their own business. So Rahana receives 25% profit in each month. So Rahana will get 25% profit in each month. If Rahana received 20,000, so 2080 in a particular month, what is the total profit in that month? So what is the total profit in that month? Right? So what he has given? So Rahana got 25% profit each month. So he has given Rahana got 25% profit each month. Now in a particular month she got 2080 rupees. That means let us consider the total profit. So what I am going to do is, let us consider the total profit as X rupees. So consider the total profit as rupees X. So the total profit is X rupees. Now she got how much percentage? 25%, right? So Rehana's profit. So Rehana's profit is equal to 25%, right? That means 25% of X only, no? So Rehana's profit is equal to 25% of X, which is equal to how much he has given? 2080 rupees. Now from this 25%, how can you write 25% as 25 by 100 into, so of X, no? So let it be X is equal to 2080. So from this, so 25 in 100, so this goes one time, this goes 4 times. So this is nothing but X by 4 is equal to 2080. So from this X is equal to 2080 into 4. So when I multiply, so 4 zeros are 0, 4 8s are 32, so 4 2s are 8. So this is nothing but the total profit. So since this is x, so x is nothing but what we have considered here. So x is nothing but the total profit now. So total profit x is equal to 8,320 rupees, right? So finally what I can say here, total profit is nothing but x is equal to 8,320 rupees. Next, moving on to one more question, question number 10, right? So what he has given, so given that in a triangle ABC, AB is equal to 2.2 centimeters, BC is equal to 1.5 centimeters, and AC is 2.3 centimeters. The same way in triangle XYZ, so he has given something, right? So their lengths are given. Now first of all, what is he asking? AB is to XY. So AB is to XY means I can write it as AB by XY. So directly I am going to substitute the values. AB is 2.2, XY is 4.4. So this goes one time, this goes two times. So we got 1 by 2. The same way BC is to YZ. That means BC by YZ. So which gives me BC is 1.5 and YZ is 3. So from this goes one time, two times. So 1.5 to 3. Right? The same way AC by XZ. So AC is to XZ is nothing but AC by XZ. So from this, what is AC? AC is 2.3 and XZ is 4.6. If you double 2.3, then it becomes 4.6. Again, what we got? 1 by 2. So if you observe all these ratios we got the same thing now, right? So AB by XY is equal to 1 by 2, BC by YZ is equal to 1 by 2, AC by XZ is equal to 1 by 2, right? And that also the first triangle sides are taken in the numerator and second triangle corresponding sides are taken in the denominator, and their ratios all we got as same. See, if we got all the ratios as same, then what we can say is, so if AB by XY is equal to BC by YZ is equal to AC by XZ, so from this what we can say, AB by XY is equal to BC by YZ is equal to AC by XZ is equal to how much? 1 by 2. So if you get all the corresponding sides as equal, then we say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. So from this what we can say, triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. So from this clearly what we can say here, triangle ABC and triangle XYZ's length of sides are proportional. Length of sides are proportional, right? So this is all about the proportionality. So when all ratios are equal, then we say they are in proportion. And one more thing, so all sides of one particular triangle should be on, whether they are in numerator or denominator, so everything should be there in completely in numerator or completely in the denominator, right? So next, moving on to one more question. So Madhuri went to a supermarket. There she has seen something. The prices are as follows. The price of rice is reduced by 5%, jam and fruits reduced by 8%, and oil and dal increased by 10%. So what here we are going to do is help Madhuri to find out the change prices in the given table, right? So what is given? So first one, so if you observe clearly here, on rice it is reduced by 5%, so it is minus 5%. Next, on jam and fruits, so these are nothing but jam and fruits, so reduced by 8%, so minus 8%. And on oil and dal it is increased by 10%, so increased by 10% means so plus 10%. So we need to find all these things, right? Now we need to help her to get these changed prices. So what are the things that we are going to get here? So you need to fill these values. Okay, so we are going to do that. So let us see this. Now question number 1. So for rice, so changed price of rice is equal to, so how much percent it has reduced? 5%, no? That means, so 5% reduced in 100% means how much? 95% only, no? So directly I can take it as 95 by 100. So we can take it as 95 by 100 into its original price. 95 by 100 into its original price. Then what I am going to get? So this 0 0 will go. So 95 3, sir. So multiply 95 into 3. So 3 5, sir, 15. So 9 3, sir, 27, 28. So what I am going to get? 285 divided by 10. So here why did not we cancel 10 means we can directly get this value as 28.5 rupees. So now my new price is nothing but 28.5 rupees. So how much we got? So the new price is 28. So what we got? 28.5 rupees. So initially it was 30 rupees. Now it has reduced to 28.5 rupees. Next, moving on to jam. So find out the price of jam. So changed price of jam. So here for jam what happened? So how much percent it has reduced? 8%, no? So 100 minus 8 how much? So 100 minus 8 is nothing but 92. So 92 by 100 into 100. So here 100 gets cancelled. So how much we got? 92 rupees. So the changed price of jam is nothing but how much? 92 rupees. So she can purchase jam for 92 rupees only. Okay, next moving on to, so next what is there? Apples. Now we need to find out for apples. So apples is initially 280 rupees, no? So here what we are going to do? So we are going to consider for apples. So changed price of apples is equal to, here if you observe, on apple how much it is reduced? 8%, no? So 8% out of 100. So it is nothing but 92. So 92 by 100 into cost of apples is 280 rupees. Now here 10 10 I am going to cancel. Now what I am left with? 92 into 28. So 92 into 28. So multiply here. So 8 2s are 16. So 1 will be there. 9 8s are 72, 73. Next 2 2s are 4, because one gap we should leave. So 2 2s 4, 2 9s are 18. Now on adding this, so 3 4 plus 3 is 7, 8 plus 8 16, 115. So 2576. So how much we got? 2576 divided by how much? 10 is there, no? So from this what I can say? The cost of the apples is nothing but 257.60 rupees. So it has been reduced by 8%, no? So clearly changed price of apples is 257 rupees 60 paisa. Next moving on to the next one, oil. So oil is increased by 10%, no? So increased by 10%. So clearly changed price. So changed price of oil is equal to how much percent it has increased? 10%. So 10% increase of 100 is nothing but 110. So 110 divided by 100 into what is the actual original price of oil? So original price of oil is 120 rupees. So into 120. So here 10 10 will go. Here 10 and this 10 we can cancel. 11 12, sir. So 11 12, sir. So whenever you want to do multiplication with 11, what we can do simply? So write 1 and 2. In the middle write the sum of those two. So 1 plus 2 is nothing but 3. So the answer is 132 rupees. Actually it was 120 rupees. Now it has changed to 132 rupees. Next, what is the next one? So next item is, so changed price of, what is the next item? Dal. So dal is 80 rupees originally, but it has increased by 10%. So changed price of dal is equal to, since it has increased by 10%, right, then I can write it as 110 by 100 into 80 rupees. So 0 0 1 0 will get cancelled. So what I am going to get? 880. So 11 8s are 88. So 1 0 will be followed by 10. So 0 0 I can cancel it. So here directly I can cancel now. So 0 0 I can cancel. So directly I can write it as 88. Now originally it was 80 rupees, but it has changed to 88 rupees. So these are nothing but the prices of those particular items, right? So for reduction you can directly reduce the value and you can directly multiply. For increment you can directly add them up, right? Next, moving on to one more question. See, there were 2075 members enrolled in a club during last year. This year enrollment is decreased by 4%. Decreased by 4%. So clearly you can figure it out in your minds, right? So decreased by 4%. Actually how much percent will be? 100%. Okay. Now there were 2075 members enrolled in a club during last year. This enrollment is decreased by 4%. So find the decrease in enrollment and how many members are enrolled during this year. So he is asking two questions. So first of all, how much decrease? So how much decrease means? So first of all we are going, so totally last year is 2075. Now this year we need to find out, and the decrease is 4%. So we are going to find out 4% of this. So if you want to find decrease in enrollment, so decrease in enrollment is nothing but 4%. So 4% of 2075. So which gives me, so 4% means, so 4 by 100 into 2075. So if I multiply with 4, so 2075 into 4. So 4 5s are 20. So 2 will be carried. So 7 4s are 28, 30. So 3. So 4 2s are 8. So how much we got? 8300 divided by 100. So 0 0 0 0 gets cancelled. 83. So how many members has decreased? So the decrease is 83 members. So what did he ask for the first one? So find the decrease in enrollment. So how many less number of people are there? 83. That means in the second question you can directly do, no. So how many members are enrolled this year means, so number of members enrolled this year, because here what he has given, last year question is, last year they have 2075, so he is asking about this year. So what we can simply say, 2075 minus this 83. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Next 7 we can't subtract 8, no. So then what we are going to do, 17. So 17 minus 8 is nothing but 9. So this is 19. So how many members enrolled this year? So totally 1992 members enrolled this year, right? Next, moving on to one more question. So what he has given, a farmer obtained a yielding of 1720 bags of cotton last year. This year she expects her crop to be 20% more. So last year 1720 bags of cotton their yield was, and this year they are expecting to get 20% more. So 20% more means, so how many bags of cotton does she expect this year? So last year 1720. So this 1720 number of bags is nothing but 100%, right? Now this year, so what is given? 20% more, no? So 20% more means for this 100% we are going to get 20% more. So that means expectation of this year. So expectation of this year is equal to how much? Since it is 100% plus 20% more, no? So we can write it as 120 by 100 into whose? So it is nothing but these 100% only, no? Into 1720. Now from this, so 10 10 I can cancel. So 12 into 1, so 10 also I can cancel here. So finally 172 into 12. So 2 2s are 4, 2 7s are 14, 2 1s are 2 and 3, and this gives me 172. So from this 4 6 0 2. So this year what she can expect? So she can expect 2064 bags. Okay, so how many bags she can expect? 2064. So last year she got 1720 bags. So this year she can expect 2064 number of bags. Right? So simple question, no? Right. Next, question number 14. So this is one of the important questions. Right. So points P and Q are both in line segment AB. So for this what we are going to do is, so we are going to draw a line segment AB. So this is a line segment AB, and P comma Q are both in the line segments AB and on the same side of its midpoint. So there is some midpoint. So to this midpoint, so this P and Q are on the same side. So same side means either you can take this side or this side. So that's up to you. So you can take on any of the sides. So what I am doing is I am taking it on this side. So this is P and this is Q. Right. Next, what he has given, P divides AB. So P divides AB. So this is P, and it divides AB in the ratio 2:3. So so P divides AB in the ratio 2:3. That means this particular part is 2 and this particular part is 3. Right. Next, Q divides. Next there is Q point. So this divides AB in the ratio. So this is, so this length is, if it is 3, then this particular part is 4. So this Q is dividing this into in the ratio 3:4. So 3:4. Right. Next, what he has given, so PQ value is 2. So the length of PQ is 2. Then what is the length of line segment AB? Right. Now here we are going to follow one particular condition. See, he has given only the ratios, he did not give any lengths. Right. Now from this what I can say is, so P divides AB in the ratio, so what he has given, in the ratio 2:3. So from this what I can say is, so I can take PA and AB values. So since he has given 2:3, right, so PA is to AB. So PA is to AB is nothing but 2:, so PA is to, sorry, not AB, so PA is to PB is equal to 2:3. So that means PA I can take it as some 2 times of X, then automatically PB becomes 3 times of X. Right. Next, Q divides AB in the ratio. So what is the ratio that is given? So it is dividing in the ratio 3:4. So from this clearly what I can say, QA is to QB is equal to 3:4. So if you want to take individual values, so QA is equal to, if I consider it as 3y, then QB will become 4y. Right. Now from the figure PA plus PB is nothing but AB only, no? So from the figure what I can say, AB is equal to PA plus PB, or the same AB can be written as QA plus QB also, no? So from this what is PA plus PB? So PA is nothing but 2x plus 3x is equal to 3y plus 4y. So from this what I can say, this is 5x is equal to 4 plus 3 7y. So 5x is equal to 7y. So 5x is equal to 7y. So x is to y is equal to 7 is to 5. Right. Now, but from the figure, PQ is equal to 2 only, no? PQ is equal to 2, right? Now from that what I can say is, so AP plus PQ plus QB is equal to AB only, no? AP plus PQ plus QB is equal to AB. Now from this what is AP value? So AP I can write it as 2x plus PQ value is already given as 2 centimeters, right? Next QB already we know 4y is equal to AB. Now from this already we know 5x is equal to 7y, no? So either you can change x as y or y as x. So from that what I am going to get, so write in terms of x, so 2x plus 2 plus 4 into, so from this what I can write y as, so y is equal to 5x by 7, right? So I can write it as 5x by 7 is equal to, instead of AB I can write as 5x, no? Because AB is equal to 5x. So directly I am writing here as 5x. Now since 7 is LCM now, so directly do the simplification here. So 7 2s are 14x plus 7 2s are 14 plus here 4 5s are 20x is equal to this 7, if I cross multiply it becomes 35x. So 14x plus 20x is nothing but 34x. So 34x plus 14 is equal to 35x. So if I transpose this 34x, so 14 is equal to 35x minus 34x. So 35x minus 34x is nothing but 14. So the value of x is 14. So clearly what I need to find? AB. What I need to find? AB. So what is AB from this? So AB is nothing but 5x, no? So it is nothing but 5x, which is equal to 5 into 14. So 5 14s are, it is nothing but 70 centimeters. So this AB is given as, so this AB is equal to 70 centimeters. So this is nothing but my answer, and this is the length of the given line segment AB, right? So thank you for watching the video. So in the next video we are going to discuss about exercise number 2, right? Thank you for watching the video. Thank you very much.